Today we're going to finish up my Ask Me Anything. So I did this a few weeks ago in my Friday haul video. I'm starting a new series of just talk videos, vlogs, and I asked you guys to ask me anything. And I kind of wanted to do these first questions to kind of get a feel for what you guys wanted to talk about, or girls. And Brooke and I did another one that you've probably seen by now, and now we're going to finish up today, and then we'll go from there. I'm really excited about it. I love talking about stuff like this. So let's get started with question number 1. Brooke is my daughter. She's here and she's going to help me read them off. We're in my office and she's at my computer. We thought that might be an easier way to do it.
This is from Kat the Beauty Hunter. She complimented you a whole bunch, but I'm just going to
thank you, Kat.
all. On that note, I'd love to hear more about your family, your grandparents, and any memories you have, what your family history is, things that happened in childhood and teenagehood, bullies, friends.
Oh my goodness.
Like at that time, things that people connected over then, what was fun to do, what was hard, who you liked and why.
Oh my goodness.
Don't miss. Goodness, all of it. But yes.
Okay, so you basically just want to know about like my upbringing and my life, which you guys know, I've told you a million times that I was brought up here in Wilmington, North Carolina. My parents were born here, and all of my grandparents are here, all of my aunts and uncles, and we spent all summer, every summer on Wrightsville Beach. So I had a really good childhood in that I was always with family. And when you are always with family, you always feel this sense of security and love, and you learn so much from each set of grandparents, each aunt and uncle, not only by the stories that they tell you, the examples they set, but just things that you see in their house, just things that you see them make important. Like in the last video I told you, both sets of grandparents, went to church, and I would go to church with them. Just different experiences at each house, even to the point where at one grandparent's, they had Coke, but at the other grandparents, they had Dr. Pepper and Pepsi. To this day, I'll tell Brooke, when I drink even Diet Dr. Pepper, I think of the beach, because my grandmother on my dad's side is the one we would stay at the beach with all summer, and she would always have Dr. Pepper, so it makes me think of the beach. And then I went, to school here with the same kids, all through school. We had one of those neighborhoods that had one main road I couldn't go across, but we had, I would say 3 streets and maybe 3 blocks we could kind of stay in the vicinity, and a lot of construction. My parents built the house that they still live in and the house I grew up in when I was 6 years old. And so it was a new neighborhood at the time, and so it was always so much fun to go get little scraps of wood, and then we would go to an empty lot and make tree houses, camps, these big ditches, and we would spend all day catching minnows. And I even caught one time, we would name them, "Here comes Big Mama." We would set up dams and catch them and everything. And I even caught one and it had babies one time. So I've had all kinds of really cool experiences like that. And then, like I've told you, I've always loved creating things and doing things. Like I've always been really busy. So my mom and I were talking about this the other day. I would pick up shells at the beach and then glue those little eyeballs on them and little pipe cleaners and make them magnets and sell them around the neighborhood. We would do that with, I don't know if you guys remember the hair barrettes that had the ribbon that crisscrosses and then it had the ties that went down. I would make those and sell them. We would make Christmas ornaments and sell them. I would wash people's cars. I would keep their cats. This continued all the way up until high school, because my parents didn't want me to get a job because I was in school and all of that kind of stuff. And they would only let me go out all the way up to a senior. I could go out one night on the weekend, and the other night I would babysit. So I've always just had that in me, and I've talked to them about this before, but I don't think I've gotten any money from them ever since I can even remember, 18 or 19. And they did get me cars and they carried my insurance, but when I moved out at 19, I had my own car that my parents got me. They didn't pay for it all, but they got me a good deal so that my car payment was, manageable. And I paid everything from then on. And I waitressed and bartended and cocktail waitressed all the way up until right before I met John. I always was curious about a real job, a job that you go to and you dress up for. And I worked at a car dealership and I didn't like it. I didn't like knowing that this was my paycheck no matter how hard I wanted to work, what I wanted to do. I knew right then that wasn't for me, that I like the potential to make more money. I want to work more, work harder, pick up a shift. I loved like when you waitress, just having that money at the end of the night. That is a little bit, what else did she ask me about the school? And I always had boyfriends. I always had friends, but all the way through high school, I always had a boyfriend. And I had the same one through the majority of high school. And then I started dating my first husband when I was 19. But I had boyfriends all the way from junior high on up, steady boyfriends, and then dated some people and everything. And I had some really good friends. I was never a cheerleader or anything like that. In junior high, I was on the student council. And in high school, I was in the newspaper class. I was on homecoming. I was active in school, but I wasn't
Didn't you do German?
that girl. Yeah, I did. I was in German classes because my heritage is from Germany. My dad's parents, they are the first generation German immigrants. I was into German, so I took that all through high school. I was in the German club, and I took it the first year of college, which I went to UNCW for a couple of years and then just decided it wasn't for me. But I remember how different that was because my German teacher in high school was literally from Germany. And it was so much fun because she would tell us stories and it was just really fun. And she made it fun to learn and so interesting. But then when I got to UNCW, the guy had just been there, I think, in the military. And so he pronounced a lot of words different. And it's probably just like the difference in the way I would pronounce something and someone from New York. But it was, I don't know, I didn't like it as much. It made it harder, to learn that way. So yeah, that's it. And then when I got out of college, I couldn't figure out how I was going to finish college and have a career and be a mom, a wife, and a stay-at-home mom all at the same time. And I knew what I wanted the most. And what I wanted the most was to be a mom and a wife. In my mind, stay-at-home mom was like the only option for me. That's all I wanted. And I noticed that when I started YouTube, that where I live and the girls that I was around, to be able to be a stay-at-home mom was like a privilege and like a really good thing. And it wasn't anything that I was ashamed of. I felt lucky, and it was kind of like, I hate to say an upper class thing, but it was something that meant your husband made enough money that you didn't have to work and you got to stay home with your kids. Then when I started YouTube, people kind of put a negative spin on it. And then the more I went to like work functions with John and met women from, all around the world in the country, and they would ask you, so what do you do? I'm a stay-at-home mom. We have a little girl that's this age. And I could just tell by the way they looked at me, that wasn't as important to them. But it always has been to me, and I've loved it. So that's just a little bit of my upbringing. I can remember my granddaddy, recording us on like cassette recorders, talking to us and recording conversations to send to my great-grandmother. Like family has always been a very, very deep thing, like family reunions all through my life. Nobody's important as your family, that kind of thing. So that is why you get that from me a lot. The thought of fighting with my parents, things like that, just don't even, or fighting with my brother or anything, which I do have a brother. He's 3.5 years younger. So yeah, it's not like it was Leave It to Beaver, or, it's not like when I came over every time my grandparents threw a party, but just being around people that genuinely love you is a good thing.
Sima Shake, I don't know, 8818. I would like to see your carnivore meals for 7 days, all the meals including breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Thank you.
Okay, I know for sure I'm going to be doing a lot more carnivore videos. I'm so thankful for those of you that have just stumbled across me for carnivore and you ended up staying and watching all the rest of my videos. Thank you. I will do whatever you want me to do, but I will tell you, I don't switch it up. Every night I eat 2 steaks. Now, something radical I did last night, instead of eating 2 ribeyes, I ate 2 fillets. And, I do that every once in a while. I might switch up what steak I want. I generally don't eat breakfast. This morning, I woke up at 4 something. I got up at 5 and I was a little bit hungry. and I knew I was going to do this video and I might be a little bit later eating lunch. So I had some pepperoni and American cheese in there, and I ate one slice of cheese, broke it up and ate it on pepperoni. That's something, a snack for me. And then today I'll go either to McDonald's or Wendy's and get a double cheeseburger with no bun or nothing on it and a Diet Coke. And then I won't eat again until dinner. And it really doesn't change. Now, I've done videos on traveling where I kind of just have to throw all the plans out the window. I generally just look for what I can eat. I don't know. Can you think of anything else, Brooke, that I eat? Like if I have to, I'm not ever gonna try to dominate where people eat. So I'll just usually find something wherever we go. If you take me to a Mexican restaurant, I'm gonna eat the fajita toppings with cheese. If you take me to an Italian restaurant, I'm gonna eat the top of a pizza. If you take me to a Chinese restaurant, I'm probably just gonna get the chicken. I just adapt like that. Now, is there maybe a sauce on there that is not good for me? Maybe. So that's why I'm not going to do it as an everyday thing. I feel like it's kind of like excuses if you do that. And I would rather do the best I can. That's what I do. I just don't mix it up a lot. On Sundays, John likes to cook breakfast. So we do have eggs with cheese. We don't always have bacon because sometimes bacon just doesn't make me feel good. And I don't eat lunch that day because every Sunday I go to my parents' house and my mom cooks me 2 thin ribeyes on the grill. And I take them dinner from wherever they want. I go get it and take it over there. So I think I'm pretty boring when it comes to that.
When you're desperate, you have pork rinds.
Oh, yeah, okay. That doesn't happen very often, but I have to be very desperate. Like say, okay, this happens in the summer sometimes. I go to the pool instead of going to lunch. And I say to myself, I'm just going to wait until dinner because sometimes I can do that, especially if John will fix dinner for me like 4. He's the one that does the grill. And if I'm starving, I might eat some pork rinds. But you have to be careful. They can't be just any pork rinds. They have to be the one. Look at the ingredients and make sure it's just pork rinds. I think it'll be maybe an oil that they fried them in and salt. One time I got a bag and I was on the way home. This was when I first started Carnivore. And I opened them in the car because I always did love doing that, opening chips or cookies in the car. Remember when we used to do that and tear them up the whole way home? So I opened up those pork rinds and I was just like, oh my gosh, these are so good. Then when I got home, they had maltodextrin in there and a bunch of stuff that ended up upsetting my stomach. The only sweetener that really doesn't upset my stomach is aspartame. If I drink sucralose, it upsets my stomach, and the maltodextrin, even in gum, it upsets my stomach. So I don't chew gum either. I don't eat candy. I eat nothing but meat.
Yeah,
cheese.
You don't drink either.
Yeah, I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink coffee, all of that stuff. And I did do the other day kind of a deep dive into the Diet Coke, which I want to get my thoughts together and do a whole video because I kept thinking, why is Diet Coke like the only one that people seem to hate on that much? And it's because it's the best selling. It's the number one, definitely the number one diet cola. It's very equal to any of them. And just a little something is the only thing they're saying that is bad for you in the diet drinks is the aspartame, which is also in Crystal Light, chewing gum, all kinds of things. So it's just kind of like, I think, one of those things, but we'll get into that later because I've looked up a bunch of studies and stuff about it too.
Yeah. That's their news reading.
Okay.
Like so many, I've watched you since the beginning. Question, at this stage of your life, what would you attribute your confidence to? You've always been such a bright light, but you shine even brighter now.
Aw. Okay. I really, really do work on myself all the time, don't I, Brooke?
You're always listening to a podcast or something.
Yeah, I love it. I always have. You guys, I don't know what it is about me, but I can remember as a child, we would be at the ballpark a lot, and I would get to know other kids' moms a lot, or they would be moms of kids at my school, just how it is when you do stuff like that. I remember rehearsing polite things to say. And rehearsing, like if they said, hey Lisa, how are you? And I would say, fine, how about you? You know what I mean? Like just rehearsing things to say to be, I guess, mature and polite. And I just always would push myself past that point. even in, like I said, junior high, which when I was in school was 7th, 8th, and 9th, I, did homecoming queen. I did the student council, which means I had to stand up and give a speech in front of the whole school. And I would just want something bad enough to get over my fears. And I've had to do that a lot on YouTube, but I just know that there's nothing I want that doesn't come without that. And I've also really, really, really been able to embrace being alone, because unless you're alone, your own real thoughts and your own real intuition and your real voice doesn't come out, because all you're hearing is other people's voices of what they think, what video they think will be best, or what job they think you should do, or the clothes that they think you should wear. And I've really learned that being by yourself is one of the best things. And can you say anything else, Brooke? My confidence, carnivore.
I think definitely. That's why she said you shine even brighter.
Yeah, I think
you don't feel like
carnivore, figuring out my health, getting through menopause, which I am going to do some videos on that, changed my life. It's almost like a point in time. So I really want to do some videos about that, because like I always say, this is our time. This is our time. We've raised our kids. We have been the wife, we've been the teenager, we've been the dating person. Now we get to be who we really want to be. And I was telling a friend this the other day. Now I have more like time in a day to do all of these things. But when I think about my life, I don't have as much time in my life. So I pack every day full of meaningful things. They can be spending time with my children. They can be going to the pool that I enjoy, making a video like I do now before I go to the pool. I make sure I pack every day. There will never be a day that I lay on the couch all day. Netflix and chill just doesn't.
You're a Virgo.
I'm a Virgo. I just love it. I love it. I love being here with you guys. And from the very first video I ever did, I loved it. I just always have. So there's been ups and downs, and I've done and said things that I'm not particularly proud of because I didn't know better, but now that I know better, I try to do better. So I hope that helps a little bit. But like I said, this is also much fun because I get to think about what videos I'm going to make, because I have so many little tricks and little tips and little sayings and little things that I've done. I want to be able to take a full video and give you those tips.
Gralessa1 asked, I would love if you would talk about self-respect as a woman. I think it is a huge problem now with the dating scene being so different. Your talks about relationship, I remember your video about divorce helping me a lot to move on with my life. Now I have a baby and a lovely husband. Thank you. Self-respect
for women. Whew, that's a tough one. What are some of the things I tell you, Brooke?
The 3 things you can't help me with?
Well, I know 2 things I can't help you with. I always say there's
30.
There's 2 things. I said there's 2 things I cannot help you with. I cannot get you out of. I said a DWI. So tell her not to drink and drive, and getting pregnant. And of course, getting pregnant is the biggest blessing of all, but you can't go back from that. Do you know what I mean?
And that person.
Yeah, I mean that it doesn't matter if it's who it is. That person and their family are in your lives forever, and your baby will be half of them.
Is that what she's talking about, like self-respect and?
No, she's talking about like dating and having respect for yourself. Like
I thought she meant like self-respect, like not giving it up.
No,
that's what I thought.
Oh, self-respect, like not giving it up. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
I do think so.
Way.
I always go back to more of a nature way of thinking, and I always think of just a man and a woman and the natural roles and our natural instincts. And it is natural for a man to be I hate to say, not the aggressor, but the more protector and the one who makes the moves, and then the woman, I just really believe in more of that natural way of a man and a woman. And I think if you mess that up, because I have lived it, it causes resentment. Just done a lot of things like that in the past where I would compromise what I wanted and the life that I wanted to live for someone else. The key to happiness The key to happiness above money and above where you live is who you choose to spend your life with. Two people can be happy in a teeny tiny small house with hardly any money, but two people can be very, very unhappy in a huge house with lots of money. I mean, you just have to find someone you can share your life with and, have an enjoyable, happy life that is not full of controversies. So I would say even more important than school is finding and being very, very particular about that person you spend your life with. I think about that all the time, but I know when you're that young, it's hard to even feel the seriousness of it or how important that is. You kind of feel like things are going to work out. I know with my first husband, I felt like, well, he's going to grow into wanting that. That's going to be the natural progression of our relationship, whereas it wasn't. I should have been much more clear on who he is right now, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with who people are, but if they're not in alignment with what you want, it's just not going to work out. It doesn't mean anybody has to be right or wrong. We could go further and further into this, but okay, next question, Brooke. She's painting her nails.
Suzanne Marie 3427, how do you store your jewelry? I would love some ideas on how to keep it organized and at the same time easy to see and reach for.
Okay, how do I store my jewelry? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Here's a little bowl of some stuff right here. I mean, I've got my go-to jewelry on my dresser in a couple of dishes. I've got, things that I just want to keep. I got those black trays, the black stacking trays from Amazon. Those really helped because I would just put everything out, stack them up, and I put them up. And that way I can take them down and kind of look at the jewelry, but I don't really have a wonderful way. I do know that I used to keep a lot more out and like hanging everywhere and everything, and that gets dusty. I don't like trinkets everywhere, so I try to keep everything rounded up in little dishes that I like to look at, or some on my dresser is like on a book, and then I go from there. So I do try to keep it put up, and I do try to give a lot away, don't I, Brooke? Mm-hmm. Once, I'm done with it, I don't keep every single thing.
Summer Bumpkin 8729. Is there any place you want to travel to where you haven't been yet?
Yeah, there is. I would say there's more places in the United States that I want to go than there is out of the country. I mean, of course I'd like to see Paris one day just because. I would really like to see Milan because I watch that channel a lot. It's funny. I'll have one self-development or entrepreneur or some kind of video or podcast playing, and then I'll put on the Milan on Trend, I think it is, where you see the people just walking in the streets. I'll silence that one and then listen to this while I watch the people go by, and it gives me the best outfit inspiration, and I just love seeing the people so dressed up. I mean, I would love to go to those two places. It's not weird places, but I'd like to see Boston one day. Mm-hmm. I'd like to go to Chicago. I'd like to see maybe...
Ooh, where's Yellowstone? Montana?
Montana, yeah.
Yeah, just because it's so pretty.
Yeah, Montana is really pretty, but that's never been really on my radar.
I know, you watched Yellowstone though. That's a long ago.
Yeah.
Really
I liked Santa Fe, but I want to go to Arizona and see those real cartoon looking cactuses. Mm-hmm. Cacti. I've been to Florida, I've been to California. Of course I'd like to see, I'm watching that Palm Royale right now. I'd love to go to Palm Beach. I was telling Brooke the other day, I want to go to the Beverly Hills Hotel. There's little specific things that I see on TV that I'd like to just see and experience. But I love going to New York. Don't want to stay there. Don't want to live there. But I love going. And I can't think of
New Orleans.
New Orleans? Yeah. That hasn't ever been on my radar, but I'll take you. So yeah, I love to travel though. I love it. I love just everything about it. I love people watching. I love interacting with new people. Every little thing. I can just be happy sitting in the lobby of the hotel. Just sitting there. I love it.
Allie 9462. Yes, love the idea of you. She said, we love your diet and body maintenance tips. But your body maintenance tips is just carnivore, right?
Yeah, body and maintenance tips would be carnivore, and I do weights every night. I do planks every night. and I'm starting up my walking, and I really want to add in like some lunges or squats or something. That's on my mind too. I need to watch some exercise videos because the way I work the best is routine. I have to have like a set routine, and it's almost like I'll have these steps that I have to do before I can even go to bed. So that is what I do. And you know, the carnivore just keeps you pretty lean. So I've been enjoying that.
CJR6876, possible future topic, facelift. Not that you need one, Lisa. Just I know you have previously mentioned possibly getting one someday, and I was wondering what research you have done on different types of lifts and what you yourself were considering. Also, if you did decide to have one, taking us on a chronicled journey.
Oh yeah, anything I ever get done, I will tell you guys. I don't know if I've ever gotten anything done that I didn't tell you, because this is the beauty of my life. If you guys followed me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you would not see me doing anything that I'm ashamed of. It might not be something you agree with, but it's not something that I'm ashamed of doing. And so if anything I do, I will tell you. And I haven't really researched it. I think I told you I went and had them look at my neck, and he told me I was nowhere near ready. And I have heard just that Dr. Karam, I think, every once in a while I'll catch one of his videos and I just happen to like him. And I remember him saying that to get a lower facelift or this or that wasn't good, that it was best to wait until you got your entire facelift. And he was even talking about blepharoplasty and everything, which I've already done that, and I don't regret it at all. I'm not sure. I'm not at that point yet, I don't think. I don't want to look just so done. I don't mind having some wrinkles. I don't mind that my jawline is not tight. I just want to look good. I'm not trying to look young. Like when I tell someone my age and they're like, oh, you don't, I'm like, don't even say that. I'm not telling you because I want you to tell me I look young. I don't care. I don't care how old I am. That is not a thing to me. It's just I want to look good. So that's part of that.
Charlotte Bragdon 9475. I'd like to know your daily routine, or is it different daily?
My daily routine.
It stays the same.
It's the same.
It's crazy.
I cannot have another routine or I will combust. It is waking up and weighing myself. I take all my pajamas off. I've got the app that goes with my scale, the Abion app, and you'll see this morning I weighed 122.6, and I weigh myself every single morning, take my hair down out of the little spirally thing, and then I go put my socks back on, put my jacket on, and I let the cats in because they've been in the garage, come up here, feed them, and then start my daily routine. We are going to get into this a little bit more because I have talked to you guys about journaling. I have gone through kind of a full circle of the journaling, and I want to address that because I changed my mind about some of the things that I've told you. But what I do is I have a planner, and I journal on my planner. I write down how much I weigh. Of course, I have like a hair appointment this Friday, and I will get into it. But this is my journal. Now, I do have a notebook over there that when I'm watching my videos, it doesn't matter if it's a fashion video, if it's a self-help video, if it's a book that I'm interested in, the author talking about or whatever, I write down notes. I will write down just words that I like. I'll write down just anything because I love it. I do that until 8 o'clock. Then usually by 8 o'clock, I go downstairs and I wash my face and put my makeup on, and I come upstairs or go to my table and I make a video. Then I come back upstairs, load the video, and I make sure that the volume was working, that this, that, and the other thing. And then I have to get a lot of stuff together to send to my editors. By this time, it's about lunchtime, and I kind of want to get out. You know, John and I both are here all day. I work from home. So that's when I will get in the car, and I just love my time in the car. I always have. So I'll get in the car, I'll go get a fresh drink and or lunch, and I'll run any errands that I need to run. I'll eat lunch, and I will catch up on all of my emails, my Voxes. If you don't know what Voxers are, it's where you have a group of friends and you send messages back and forth. Well, I'm really funny. I don't listen to anything like that while I'm doing something else. I save it until I get in the car, and then I come back, and that is when I would like do B-roll, like where say I'm doing a Zara video, and I need to try on some different dresses, I'll work on that. Or maybe all of us have gone out to lunch, maybe I'll go to the pool. It varies right there. And then I'll walk and then eat dinner between 5 and 6. And then I'll usually come back up here and get on my computer. This sounds funny, but it takes time to shop for my videos and for different things that I'm doing. It takes time to plan videos. It takes a lot of time to do the thumbnails I'm doing all of those links and to type all of that out and to put it into the computer and put all the hashtags in it. I mean, it just takes a lot of time. But the lucky, wonderful thing is I have just built a life and created a life that I love. Every single thing, every pen, every notebook, my car, my desk, my computer, every single thing I do. So I enjoy every moment of it. And I make everything kind of fun to do. I go downstairs, do my exercises. I have a devotional and I get in bed, put the phone down for good about, I'd say 7 o'clock. We watch TV and I go to bed. And that is just about every day. It might vary if I meet friends for dinner or when I go to my parents on Sunday night, something like that, but that's pretty much my day to day.
Mariah Price, 5972. Lisa, I would love to know how your blood work numbers are since you have been doing carnivore for more than 4 years. I think that's what I remember. I'm thinking of starting carnivore at the end of May. P.S. Love the white trousers with the white tank. Have a great weekend.
Oh, okay. I went in January. I got my blood work done in January, and I think I told you that I asked him, about it. And when you're doing carnivore, it will say that your cholesterol is high, but your good cholesterol will be high. So my triglycerides and all of the other ratios are so good. I told you it's not only been my doctor. The first year I did carnivore, they tested my blood every 4 months. And now we're on to just once a year. And then when I got life insurance, I had the company paid for a nurse to come here, and she said that this blood work is going to be even more intense than, and I'll link that video down below because then you'll get to see those numbers because I know I put them in that video. She said this is going to be more intense than your regular blood work because they're looking for anything saying that you might not live a long time or that you have some kind of sickness. And I, passed that one too. So I'm not on any medications. John just called.
Do you remember what you were saying, or were you done?
You have to learn. You have to be educated before you go to the doctor. And you have to stand up for yourself. Doctors are not nutritionists. You have to take care of your body. And you have to know the facts. So I recommend watching Dr. Berry, Dr. Berg. Okay, sorry, John has called twice. But to wrap it up with the blood work, learn all the facts about cholesterol and just learn why your body needs cholesterol and just really study about it. And I know what I was going to say. I asked him so that I could tell you guys why he wasn't concerned about the top, what is it, like the LDL, is that, yeah, being high. And he said it's because the HDL is so high that it makes my ratio the right way, and I'm not overweight. I don't have anything else. I'm not diabetic. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have any other thing. The only supplement that I take is I take HRT and I take vitamin D calcium for my bones. I do have like osteopenia. So that's it. Okay, I hope that helped. We'll dive into that more in another video.
Stella Villalobos, 1984. Hi Lisa, love your videos. Can you make videos on changes with women over 55 years old? It would be very helpful since you are over 55 and so fashionable. Thank you, lots of love.
Yeah, I'm almost 55. I'm 53. I will do that. I'll make some videos on like finding and keeping your style, different ways to adjust it, because I am not someone who really thinks that there's an age with style. I kind of think just like your makeup, you might just need to modify it according to your body and your lifestyle and what you like. So I feel kind of strongly about that. Fashion is a big part of what gets me excited, how I express myself, And I think it's way more important than people think. How you feel about yourself and how you present and tell others about yourself. So yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. Brooke said there was a lot of carnivore ones. So we're just kind of skipping over those so that I can start making some videos. And I've really been thinking about it. The other day, John and I went to the pool and we sat beside a couple. John works out with the guy at the gym, and I was talking to his wife, and they just started carnivore. It's so good to be around people that have just started it. I think he's gone from I think she said he had gone like 3 pant sizes down, and she's lost all this weight, and how she did have, I don't know if it was knee or hip pain that is gone. I mean, just all the miracles. So I cannot wait to talk about it even more.
Judy W310, I have a question. When you first started this channel, was it just a hobby? If it was a hobby that turned into a career, what did that process look like?
Oh my goodness, that is a deep question because it's been quite a process. When I started this, it was purely a hobby. It was purely fun. It was just because I could not believe that I was able to find other girls that wanted to talk about this stuff with me. And I just felt like I had so much to say, and I just loved it. And you know, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had kids at home and picking them up from school and all that stuff. So it was just a lot of fun. And I've always been somebody who liked talking to other girls and women. I've never been like jealous or anything like that. So it was an outlet, and it was just a fun thing to do. Back then, once you made partner with YouTube, you had to get like X amount of subscribers or something. Then you got to make longer videos, because in the beginning you could only make 15-minute videos and you couldn't do your thumbnail. It was whatever thumbnail came up. Then if you got to be partner, you started making a little bit of money with Google AdSense. And I'm talking like maybe $100 a month. You know, I remember when I would get like $300 a month, that was just like so much money. And I would spend that on things for my channel. And then I don't know if you guys have been here long enough to know that I have a website, and I sold things on my website. I would go to all the stores and buy things that were on sale and resell them to you guys. Then I went through the phase where I sold the Rachel K, I sold the Sheila Fajl hoops, I sold anything I liked. I would contact the company and see if I could sell it. So I sold belts, I sold skincare, I sold those Leolena bracelets. It would usually be something that I had gotten organically, and I loved so much that I would contact the company and sell them. I went through that for years and years and years. John and I would be shipping. Do you remember that, Brooke?
Oh, yeah.
We would be shipping in his office for hours, and I would be at the post office every day for hours, shipping out packages, filling out the customs forms for the UK. Remember, I made t-shirts, I sold scarves. I would go to like different places, like the nicest boutiques here in town, and if something was handmade, I would contact that person and buy them from them and sell them on my website. So I did that for a long time. Remember Reward Style contacting me, the affiliate link business, and I was so busy I couldn't even think about that. So then I ended up getting in with them like in 2017 or 18. So now that is a way that, you know, we all make money. I do work with different companies. You guys know I work with Nordstrom, Sephora, Ulta, Walmart, and then like Osea and Ideal Diamonds, all of those places. They contact me, and they, you know, make a proposal and we have to negotiate. It's work. They're not sending me stuff or paying me just because I'm here. You know, it's a compliment because I'm very open and authentic with you guys. And I feel like sometimes when they ask me, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, because I don't feel like I'm as professional as most people are, because I started this and it wasn't my profession. I don't have a fancy name. I don't have fancy stuff. I don't have a team. You know, Brooke and John are my team, and I do have editors. I am proud of how far I've come, and I'm proud that I have stuck with it because there have been some ups and downs. Okay, once again, we have run out of battery. So that just tells me that we have a lot to talk about. That's encouraging. Okay, next question. We're going to do a few more because I know I probably am getting in too deep for this general question thing, but I love it. I just love talking about all this stuff. I think it's so important for us to share our experiences, because I know when I'm watching videos And especially people that are like telling their story of how they started their business or how they built their channel or, anything that I'm listening to. It can be like one word or one phrase that just clicks with me. So I'm always hoping I can be that person for you.
Dia Hansberg's 9311, ask me anything about. Although I'm not new here, I don't think I've been around long enough to know about any work you've had done. I think you're beautiful and I need to know all the suggestions to get done to still look young but natural. Because I think you've accomplished that. I hope this isn't offensive because that's not at all how I mean it. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's why we're here. I wouldn't feel like I'm bringing any value if I wasn't honest. Like, what would be the point? So, work that I've had done. And I think, didn't someone ask me if I had veneers or implants?
Yeah.
Okay, so Invisalign. I had Invisalign, so if you've been here, you remember my whole 2-year journey with Invisalign. And I have in the past had lip filler, but I haven't had it done since I've been in this house, I would say about 3.5 or almost 4 years. I think I had it done one time before we left the other house. A lot of that is just because the look that I like has changed. You know what I mean? I've had blepharoplasty, where my eyes were hooded. And I've had my nose done. It was a kind of a minor rhinoplasty. They didn't have to break my nose, or I didn't have a cast or anything. It was just the cartilage and a bump right here that they took off. And
your boobs.
Oh, my boobs. I had my original breast implants done in 2004 before YouTube, and then I had them replaced and a lift in, I think, 2016 or 2017. I'm not sure, but there's videos on my channel, and I had the full mastopexy. So a lift, exchange, and all of that stuff. And is that it? Is that all I've had done? I attribute a lot to Obagi Nuderm skincare with Retin-A. I have used that off and on since before YouTube, but I've been just steady with it for years now, and it just keeps my skin like flake free, totally exfoliated and clear most all the time. So I really, really believe in that. Someone else asked about travel, and I want to travel the most I can. So I'm just going to keep on traveling as long as I can. Right, Chanel?
Huh.
You want to travel with me? You want to travel with me? You do?
Bethany Hopkins, 1495. Question: what's your daily walking routine, including outfits? Not sure if you're still doing that.
Okay. I haven't been, but I am. I'll probably start tonight, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I have to like get it in my head when I'm going to start. But I found that I just like loose shorts and a loose top. I love my On Cloud tennis shoes because I don't have to wear socks and I don't have to tie them up. At first I thought, oh, I'm going to look so cute. I'm going to have these cute little outfits to walk. I realized was not as important to me. But I don't know if you guys remember when Victoria's Secret sent me like this big generous box of some of their clothes. Yeah, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
Brooke's wearing one of the outfits. They sent me these sets of shorts and t-shirts that were just the same color. I think I have a lavender one, a black one, and a green one. Those are great because I do like being able to open my drawer, get something really quick, throw it on, go. Usually so hot that I'll come right back and get in the shower. And so I recommend, think about all the things that keep you from doing something that you want to do. And you think about all of those, I think it's called friction reduction or something. You think about all these things and you one by one pick them away so that it's easy to get into that habit. And that's what I did. I found tennis shoes that I didn't have to wear socks, didn't have to tie up. I found good outfits that looked good enough but were easy to wash and dry, easy to pick up real quick out of my drawer. And, that's, I think, the key to most everything is just, working it out so that you want to do it.
Michelle Hadley, 7734. I enjoyed the conversation that occurred after your Pamela Anderson no makeup video. It was such an interesting and engaging topic leading to very respectful, insightful comments. Videos discussing beauty, and then in parentheses, differing definitions of beauty and aging, generational differences, etc. would be of interest to me. Love your genuine spirit, Lisa.
Oh, I loved that video. That video really inspired me to do more like that, where, in matter of fact, I did just do one on Hermes and that whole lawsuit and everything. It's like I haven't really formed my full opinion because I don't know enough or haven't experienced enough. So I just want to talk about it. You know, it's just like we're all getting together. Like I always say, we're all at a big table. We're, you know, together eating dinner and having strawberry margaritas in our minds. And that's kind of how I want to do with the Hermes. And then I'd love to do another one about the Pam with no makeup because I have a totally different feeling now. Totally different. It's kind of like I came full circle with that. So we'll do another video on that.
Terry Alvarez, UU3PE. What about a video of you and your daughter shopping?
Oh gosh, Brooke and I shopping.
We don't even
That might be tumultuous.
We don't have any place to shop here.
Well, yeah, we don't have many places to shop here. You know, we'll go into like Ulta or Sephora, something like that.
We
but
wouldn't have a big Sephora.
Yeah, we just have a Sephora in our Kohl's. So we don't shop here a lot. And even when we go to a mall, we're usually going to different places. She likes Urban Outfitters, Free People, Aeropostale, or not Aeropostale, but Aerie.
I love Aerie.
Aerie.
Abercrombie.
Lululemon, places like that, which is not like I don't like them, but you know, I'm going to the Gucci store and all of that. And so usually what happens is we'll split up and then she'll end up bugging me to leave.
I don't bug you to leave. But, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But she's gotten to the age now where it's just like I think I told you guys, you know, I want her to go with me and go to her own places. I want her to have more alone time to hear that little voice, her own inner voice, and for her to kind of be more independent. We'll talk about this when it comes to like marriage and stuff. I think it only enhances your marriage to really be independent and know who you are. When I say independent, I don't mean independent of a man or independent of friends or family. I just mean getting in touch with your own genuine true thoughts and not being to not be peer pressured into thinking something. Or, you know, even as adults, we can get pressured into thinking one thing is right and one thing isn't. And so I think it's just important. Even I would love for her at a much younger age than I was to get that in her head and to feel confident about her decisions, because I do remember when I was young really having a really clear picture of who I was and what I wanted. But then I would always say, am I not right? You know what I mean? Is this not what I should want? Is it bad? You know, like when I was dating before John, and you know, like if people would say, oh, she just wants to get married and have children. And I was like 25 or 26, and I was thinking, don't all girls want to? You know, it was like people will make you second guess what you really want. So you need to be firm in how you feel.
Sarah Reed 7452. Hi Lisa, you have occasionally used a southern expression to accentuate a point. There's so much wisdom in those expressions. I would love to see a video or a short on Southern expressions.
Oh God, that'll be fun.
Thank you for all your fantastic videos.
Okay, Southern expressions. They are good. And some of them I didn't even realize were so Southern. What's a Southern expression that I say that you think is good and wise?
I think maybe I'm just so used to them, or I can't tell that they're Southern expressions
because
I'm used to them. I just think of bulldog.
Make a bulldog break his chain?
Yeah, that's the main one I think
When you're talking about food so good, John said, Will got a cookie at one of the pizza places, and John said, this cookie, it'll make a bulldog break 2 chains. But one that my dad said to me when I was in my 20s, and it's always stuck with me, and I always tell Brooke, he said, cream always rises to the top. And I love that, because to me, what that stands for is if you are being the person that you should be and living like you should live, no matter what happens, cream rises to the top. And I had gone through a phase where I felt like this isn't fair. Why are all the people that aren't doing the right thing living this life and I'm doing this? And then it didn't take long until cream rose to the top. The people that were doing the right thing ended up having a much better life. So that's one of my favorites. But my dad is full of them. So we'll have lots more on that one. One of Brooke's favorites that my dad taught me, it's not really a saying, but it's just a way to look at things. Like I remember when he told me this, it was about, you know, when I used to sew. I had a Bernina sewing machine, a real nice sewing machine. I had saved up my money, selling my handbags. I bought this sewing machine, and then I wanted one that was nicer and had the embroidery thing on it. And my dad told me, anytime you're wanting to purchase something like that, one, think to yourself, what is it going to change? Like, what are you going to be able to do with that new thing that you can't do now? That's something I always think about. And he'll say you're thinking about buying something that's $5,000. Right then in that moment, would you rather have that thing or would you rather have $5,000? And a lot of times it'll really make you think, I'd rather have $5,000. And so that's something that Brooke likes that I've taught her too. Okay, one more and then we'll let you guys go. I could talk all day.
Vicky Howard, 4215. I would like to hear your hair journey as a bleached blonde
gosh.
30 volume who has experienced breakage in May 2019 pre-COVID times.
Okay, my hair journey. I am going to do a whole video on that because I am so glad that I waited. Because, I bought all of those like repair lines. I think I bought all of them. And I have come down to, I think about definitely my 3 top ones. I'll go ahead and say like today I used one of my top ones. And every time I use this one, I like it. And it's the Kerastase. The Kerastase Premier. The one that decalcifies. That one I think is very unique. And I noticed when I use it, this was just no heat, just a blow dryer. And it was last night, put up in a bun. So that just shows you how much like anti-frizz control it gives you. And I feel like it gives you some shine. I haven't even brushed it today. This is literally from last night. So that's one. And, I'm very thankful for that I have gone through that because here again, it's something that I can share with other people that have gone through it. And it was a growing experience. It was more confidence building, more having to do the right thing, not the thing that felt the best, control my emotions, be patient, all of those things. And it paid off. So, okay, Chanel is just beside herself wanting some attention. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This has given me such a great idea of some different topics, and I appreciate it so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.